So, welcome to our healing of our maternal trauma in the genetic line. So, we're here in that sacred space of sovereignty, asking that the golden cocoon, the sixfold field and teams that keep it in place, surround each of us, our homes, each of those that we love, the land that we are on, and Gaia. We affirm that we have secured connections for divine information of truth, of guidance, for our highest good, for each of us. And those teams, along with our higher self, is here with us today. We gather as star souls who have birthed into female bodies with a unique purpose. And we are here to affirm that mission, that assignment, and know more about that. So give gratitude for Gaia, for housing us here, for allowing us space to bring ourselves back into wholeness. And we ask for a blessing upon her and all of her energy fields. We move this platform, this circle, onto the platform prepared in the fourth world for this work, letting ourselves be lifted safely, warmly, lovingly to that space gathering around the fire there. With that, our circle is set and prepared. And we are ready to participate together. So my intention for this class is that the women who come to today come with sincere curiosity, with a deep desire and a commitment to bring humanity and Gaia into the resonance of our truth, our star being nature, and all aspects and experiences of that good, which love, peace, respect are only three of those aspects. As you look out over the world today and see what's present in our world, no matter what country we are in, we are observers of the world, as well as what's going on in our own lives, in our own communities, and in the country. If you look at it just with those eyes, it's not a pretty picture. And here we are as mothers, as grandmothers, as sisters, as nieces, as daughters. You know, what is it that we can bring to the picture, to the change? I'm going to always speak from what I call the galactic landscape. Because when I got into energy work and I learned about affirmations, and I learned about evolutionary living, and I learned about all of those kind of crystals and healing, and applied many of it, I realized that it wasn't enough. There was something missing because we kept cycling in pain. So I had been working with off-planet guides for about 14, 15 years by that time. And so I said to my team, the ones I eventually called the ancient ones, what is missing? I want to know the cause of humanity's constant cycling in pain and how to get rid of it. Who do we go to learn from? And basically they said it's not on the planet. That information is not on the planet anymore. So if you want to know that and teach that, we will have to tell you. And that's why I call myself a radical mystic shaman woman, because my information, my shaman work came because I would not take this as the only answer. I was radically pushing the envelope, and I was taught by those off planet. So we are in a big mess right now in many, many ways. Why women? I'm going to give you a very, very quick synopsis of our galactic history, so you know why we're coming together today to heal our maternal line is possible, critical, and how we're going to do it. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. And here we have, I'm going to put this up here. Here we have the picture of our home of all good. And I think we all can agree that we have this belief, this understanding that we are souls. We aren't the body, we are souls. That soul energy is intelligence, intelligent beings, and we came from a home of all good. So this is, as you see on the screen, this is a graphic of home. And home is where there is all good, which we know about all good. And we talk about it, and there it is. There is no disruptions, there's no power over, there's no imbalance in that home. It's like the oceans, often compared to the ocean, and we are drops in the ocean. Indeed, we are. And we, as soul, have all the aspects and the qualities and the vibrational songs of home within us. What we haven't been taught is the galactic history, and I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. I'm teaching it later in January, but for this, I just want you to understand why we are where we're at, okay? We also have the right to choose to extend from home into more specific experiences. And I've studied 7 different families, and those agendas are what drew them out to experience more specifically joy, more specifically peace, more specifically inner knowing. Each of these specific families extended from home around an agenda, and that agenda put them in what is called their first world. And that's where they experience that first world, light and love and dancing and all this beautiful around their agenda. What we hadn't been prepared adequately for, or maybe we hadn't listened to the message, is that there were other groups in this, what we call Laniakea, out in the galactic, big expansive galactic, who had twisted their codes, twisted their vibrations in order to become parasitic by nature. Their agenda was to dominate in lots of forms. They twisted the nature of good, twisted it. It's not a shadow part. They twisted it to be some families coming from light, added codes to add twisted vibrations that could then be used to choose and create agendas of domination, power over using other people's light intelligence creation for their fuel, for their food. They became very contaminated with very little breath left for the divine family itself. So in these, this is where slavery began, domination began, abuse began, discounting began, you're not enough began, all began in these worlds. This is where it began. And this is why all of the tools that I was taught in the late 80s, that love is all there is, didn't work. Because there were beings and energy agendas here who had infiltrated and literally attached their our vibrations to them. And so what was included in this vibrational family mix was domination. Love has no impact on domination because it isn't a shadow part of domination. It is a specific choice. And so when we got to this point where we were literally dying, as hosts do, we were literally dying, these 7 families came together as a collective. So they came together as a collective to say, let's band together to create a plan to see if we can't save our family from dying, from the disease of domination, if you will. And therefore, they came up with a plan that we call Earth. Earth is a mission designed to eliminate the outsiders. I call the parasitics outsiders. to eliminate the outsiders in order for there to be free breath of home again. As long as the parasitics were there, they were draining off the breath of home, leaving us little to live on. We decided to have a space that made our energy solid or manifested, so it would slow it down and we could discern it and identify it and have it removed. So Earth, Gaia agreed to let us land here with all of our contamination to clear all of that off. She trusted we'd be able to do that. We had to have an Earth suit because we are energy beings. We are energy, and we are. We're not. How do we land on the planet and live here? We needed a suit, like Mars suit, Moon suit, etc. And we came up with the idea to have two suits, two physical suits. We call one male, one called female. Was not about reproduction at all. It was about accomplishing mission. The soul who embodied into a male suit would be the nurturer, ascending energy, high frequency energy into their little village, but distracting the outsiders. The outsiders would own that suit because the ownership had to come through. It came through the male suit, and they distracted. They kept the outsiders away. The second suit, now called female, was a suit without ownership marks because that had been given into the male suit. So they were going to come in unseen to land on Gaia, partner with her, create networks within Gaia to the other villages that were there, learn from each other, learn from Gaia, then see what do they need for mission, what do they want for mission to birth it, and then they were then to be able to say, okay, this form that's coming from my energy design of good feels, tastes, senses, smells this way. Expansive, we'll say. But the forms of the outsiders that were also here, that energy was also here, they then were ready to taste, sense, smell, feel the forms that were coming from the outsiders, which were then, we'll say, constrictive. So they could sense that which came from their home of good, that which came from outsiders, very different. Then they would have the authority activated to say, I know who you are. This energy is coming from outsider, and I stand on the planet with the right to say, call in my troops, remove this energy form and all of its manifestations back to its home of origin. In our work, it is called the serpent, Sophia, wisdom. So shortly after we got to that place where the villages were thriving with their lush garden, in one of the villages, the power of the female to identify and have outsiders removed was discovered. The bodysuits were crippled, their power centers were crippled, and we lost that Sophia voice. And that happened right about there, just after we were on the planet a little bit. So for us today, in this meeting, in this group, to have the authority to heal our maternal line requires that we be initiated into the Sophia voice of authority. And so that's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to do a guided visualization and journey. First, Let's take a little break where you can stretch, get a drink of water, and then come back for our journey. So click off the recording, and when you're ready, come back and click it on to continue. In our galactic mission plan, the law of personal choice, one individual can make that choice. We are not here as a 100th monkey. Mass consciousness shift. And we, in those other worlds, in all those other worlds I've explored and been shown, we are, as a group, we're like bees, where we have our agenda and we work around it, and everyone has a part to play, and we just, but busy doing what we're doing, but it's group consensus. One person does not lead or tell or whatever. We needed a different way on the planet because the outsiders are so deceptive and violent and sneaky that we didn't have time. We wouldn't have time to call together a consensus. So one person, one soul, one earth volunteer, because we volunteered in a physical bodysuit, has the right, and for females, the responsibility to say, I stand and I declare. And that was lost, crippled through outsider manipulation. So it's important to know that you are extremely valuable and important in making the changes you want to see, not just in your life, but for the world, for humanity. Okay, that said, find a place for your physical body, because the body gives us the power and the right to make those declarations. The body is really important in making changes for the world. Take a breath. Let that breath move down through the crown chakra, right down the midline of your body, bringing new information, new light, waking up different circuitries right down and out your feet into Gaia, rooting into Gaia in a new way. And just give gratitude for your physical bodysuit. During this journey, the body can simply be. Those in the unseen who care for our bodies, inform our bodies, work for the body, can do that for your body as we sit in quiet. We are here on sacred ground with clear, secure connections to information and teams beyond our understanding that are here with us this important time. And there is a place prepared for us as a circle, along with those who are not able to be with us personally, but will be with us virtually. In this time, just let yourself breathe into your energy field all that is there for you. It may be confusion, it might be anger, it might be hope, it might be desperation, it might be whatever it is. Breathe it in and bring it with you. Sense yourself being lifted up out of the difficulties, contaminated energies of Earth. You might find yourself lifted on a cloud, on a winged one, up out of your home above the clouds into that blue, warm stream, taking you to a circle of sisters waiting for you. We each have our circle. We each have our fire. And yours may be by the ocean, or it might be inner earth, or it might be grove of trees, or it might be on another planet. We are everywhere. Our circles are everywhere. Just sense yourself landing gently onto that platform, that circle, sensing that fire, sensing the women who are there with you. You will sense one in your imagination coming toward you, putting her arms around you and saying, "Welcome, my sister. It has been so long. I love you." You see the energies, the smiles, maybe the hugs of all the others saying, "Welcome." The one first embracing you steps forward, and we hear from her these words, "Dear one, I am of the Sophia collective. We hold that space of that wisdom you are, the discernment you have, the visions you hold. And we say to you, all of the pain that you have gone through and seen has nothing to do with you being not enough. You are not at fault. You are on mission. And we so honor what it has taken for you to get to this place of finally we can meet. For that has been kept from women for generations and generations. And we have watched your suffering in the pain of our own suffering, unable to be there with you. And we are now changing that with you. And you see her handing you a staff for one hand and a sword for another hand. She puts an azure cloak, shawl, bracelet, an azure gift on you as a symbol of your Sophia power. And she says to you, in your imagination, place all of those aspects of pain, disharmony, discounting, place them into the fire, pieces of paper crumbled into the fire, no longer part of your life. And you follow that directive. And then she says, and steps forward in front of you so you can watch her model the Sophia voice of authority. And she says, Humanity is in resonance to our truth, the nature of our star being, creating all experiences of all good. And you affirm, this is my choice also. And if there are other words that you want to add, put those words there with you. And you take the staff and you thrust it into the ground. I use my left hand for staff. You may use your right. I thrust that staff into the ground and I say, and you say for yourself, this field of my life energy is mine. This physical bodysuit is mine. The energy that flows from the divine to this bodysuit is mine. I own and steward all of those fields of energy. They belong to me. And these fields are designed for experiences of all good, health, balance, respect, laughter, joy, peace, and more. And then you take the sword of Sophia, which is not a fighting sword at all. It is a connector, like a connector to computer, connecting into the heavens. And you thrust that sword into the heavens, and it is connected there with teams I call PTO, just because I do, who have the assignment to remove outsiders from all space-time, reality, regions, lifetimes, etc. Thrusting that connector, say, finally, I speak into the heavens, connected clearly, and I declare all outsider energy is deep sixed to its extinction of light dust. And then just imagine the qualities that you have declared flowing from all home as energy, as colors, as songs, and then becoming experiences in your imagination. What experiences flow to you? What other feelings that you have? Who is there with you? And what are you doing in those experiences? Breathe those feelings into the physical body. Let the physical body be filled to anchor that for you. When you're ready, embrace that circle. They are now yours. You are part of they. A Sophia sister. As you walk in your life daily, anything that you see, read, hear, experience, or sense that is even a hint that it is part of the outsider agenda of domination and evil, even a hint, a ripple on your neck. You would thrust your sword, your staff into the field and say, this world is mine. This field is mine. And I put my sword into the sky and I say to the PTO, I'm feeling energy. I sense it as off, not good. Remove it. Deep 6. And then hear from those sisters, that circle, whatever they need to say to you, or ask anything of them you need to ask of them. And then when you're complete, you can bring yourself back into the physical body, anchoring what you have experienced, learned, and now know into this circle. And when that's done, you can open your eyes and be back in the room. So breathe and take just a minute to anchor what that experience was for you, what it felt like, who was there. Where do you want to hold those feelings, sensations, or pictures within your body? Breathe them into that body as a storage to help guide you. And then, if you'd like, you can click this off, put it on hold, take a few minutes break before we do our next journey. So what I'm going to suggest you put into the fields, because what we have a field of energy that is here, that unique because of who we are. And that field of energy is full of intelligence, unlimited possibilities, teams, beings that are here. And that field does things beyond what we can do alone. What I have found over the years is that we are often very committed to our stories, even if they bring us pain. Because it's your story, it's your action, it's their action, it's outside of ourselves that's the problem. And it's really we are living our stories. And so sometimes we're very addicted to our story being the right and the only story. On the galactic platform, there are multiple stories. And curiosity is what's important. You don't have to be in pain to try something new. You don't have to believe the new to try it on. In that way, it's kind of like a scientist. Here's a concept, and I'm giving you concepts. I'm giving you ideas and possibilities. And that doesn't mean, oh, I believe it. So no, try it on. Try it on. There are so many stories and possibilities that can restore us to our home of good, our nature of good, the world to good. And that there isn't one story. This and then this, and your journey of stories might be very different than my journey of stories. But by sharing our stories, we have the option of trying something new on. That said, here you are with a new power understanding group, literally group 2. You have a Sophia collective, these women, these souls. And on a soul level, of course, there's no gender, but that's an assignment. The female assignment of Sophia is to discern and declare, keeping outsider dominations dissolved, eliminated. So you have a group with you now, and you also have a connection to maybe a new team in the world beyond. I call them the PTO. It's a collective of very powerful beings committed to helping us mission force here, clean up the contamination. So PTO team. So with that in mind, I'm going to invite you again on a journey. So take a breath. Make sure that your physical body, again, feels stable and comfortable and warm. It's holding a point of power. From that point of power, all energy is impacted. You have more power than angels. You have more power than ascended masters, guardian angels. You have more power. They listen to you. That's how we set it up. The body is really important, and it's yours. Breathe that energy from way beyond. Sense that group of Sophia sisters around you, you embraced by them, they're holding space with you. And we ask that you and this circle, ours and the Sophia's sister circle, be lifted onto that fourth world platform in which there are unlimited possibilities, where good exists in all of its forms. And you move there from a clear, solid connection to Gaia, so that you speak and the entire wave of energies will respond. You are not disconnected from Gaia, from Earth. And then in your imagination, call to you those in your maternal genetic lineage who are most painful. You may know them and you may not. They may be reluctant, but you encourage them to come into the circle, to be warmed by the fire, to be held in love. There may be one, there may be more. You keep inviting them into the circle, all of those who hold the most pain. When you get a sense that those most needed of this work, who are surrogates for the entire line, they are surrogates for your entire line. When you get a sense that those are there, you have and ask that the Sophia sisters, along with healing groups, place each one of those women in a warm, loving, secure place. It might be their blankets, there might be sitting by the fire. They are there in the circle, but they are no longer alone, and they are no longer shaking in their cold, painful space. We step forward and we say to these women, my mothers, my grandmothers, I am here in this moment of time because you suffered the barbs, the arrows of your lifetime. You did not give up life. You made it possible for me to be here. And I am here because we needed to find the Sophia clue, the Sophia key that you did not have. And I want to tell you how sorry I am for the unending pain that has been in our lineage from so many generations, and that none of you did anything wrong. None of you were not enough. It is not that you deserved this trauma, this hurt, this abuse, this disconnecting and discounting. I know. I know you are magnificent beings of light who took on a mission to show that the outsiders' agendas, the patterns they created, the actions they took, was on planet Earth, to show it is here. And we now have the means of saying to those energies, we see you, know you for who you are. And then for this field of your ancestral lineage, you put your staff in the ground and you say, I own my family's maternal field. I own it. It's mine. I gather it into me in this moment of time. This field is mine. Staff in the ground. These women, these loved ones are me. Staff in the ground. Me. And their mission is complete. I put my staff in the ground for them, for myself, for future generations, for past generations, and say, this field, women suffering, I own it. And I put my sword into the sky, connected to the PTO collectives and beyond, to say, deep six, remove all outsider type energies, agendas, actions, behaviors, contracts, eliminate them back to their home of origin, where they are to be made extinct. That energy extinct. The energy is extinct. I call for the healing protocols that each of my wonderful mothers, grandmothers, great grandmothers need to bring them into that field of divine good, that field prepared for healing, removing, dissolving what seems impossible. I place them there. Blessed, healed, celebratory light, they did what they promised, and it is done. All that remains is doors for wholeness, healing, celebration to open for them and my family line. Be with that intuitively, imagination. What else are you called to do? What is it they need from you, or you need to hear from them, or you say to them? The next few minutes, be with your family. If there's anything that seems like it will not let go, you say, staff in the ground, this is mine. My declaration is wholeness. Deep 6. Staff in the ground, sword in the sky. All that is not of light removed to their home of extinction. And you might find that some of those ancestors are ready to step with you into the Sophia collective, to stand firm, bringing that message back in time, forward in time, present time. Some in your maternal line need a rest. They simply want to be in that field with those of divine good commitment to rest, recuperate, review. Every soul who is on Earth mission, who has incarnated and been part of this mission, has with them a causal team, planning, healing, directing, guidance. The same is true for every member of your family, back in time to the present. Ask each of your family soul members be placed in active communication with their causal team, healing team, directive team. Highest and best for all. When you feel complete with what you need to hear or to say or things they want you to do, bring yourself back to the circle here, this moment of time. If there's anything you need to write down, to remember, to anchor, bring that back with you. Breathe, and we give great appreciation for all who work with us. We are not alone in this great work of reweaving the world new. We are not alone when we wake up and see the forms of disaster around us. We are not alone. We are not alone when we feel tired and frightened. We are not alone. And when we rest, we are not slacking in any duty. The damage that has been done to souls coming into female bodies through the ages was intentional. It has been intentional. Yeah. And without getting that energy back to the truth of who we are as souls in female bodies, this world will never change. There's an old Chinese saying that when sleeping women wake, mountains will move. And we have been put to sleep in many, 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 many ways, including through danger and fear and subjugation and choice in order to survive. So for many of us, we are at the beginning of reclaiming, understanding, reclaiming, understanding, reclaiming. It is a step by step by step journey. Whatever happened for you right now, you have begun a ripple, and you are a presence on this planet. Soul in a female body saying, I own energy. Staff in the ground, the energy of body, I own it. Life, I own it. Home, I own it. And I'm working with beings soared into the sky, beyond Earth and more, to bring that energy field into resonance to what I've designed, declared, and that's your reality declaration. It's going to have us close our eyes. Thank all who have been here working with us, that they go with each of us, that they guide us. Use your authority voice to say yes and no. What you don't want, no. PTO Deep Six. What you do, embrace and expand. We're grateful for Gaia and ask that her energies be blessed and cleared to her original beautiful, magnificent, clear space. That I'm so fortunate and honored to be with you and spend time with you today. And until we meet again, much love.